There yet? Here we are, Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, live, live, live.
Yeah. Good evening, America and the rest of the world.
All right.
Yeah.
So we have to make up some new ones, some new mattress.
I put it in my phone, but here we go. Through the power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow, the great nothingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we all now will and commanded to be. Now, being and becoming an active force of higher consciousness and an active force of infinite intelligence within us all now. Being and becoming the great primordial dragon god sun kundalini flame, now whirling and ascending up our spine from our root chakra to our central heart chakra and on up to our royal crown chakra, igniting our royal crown chakra, illuminating our first eye, our Lord Amunel chakra, our hidden priestly grandmaster magi dragon god sun king and queen, igniting all the 72 chakras in our first eye, our 72 primordial dragon gods, sun, kings, and queens, and all of our legions of 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 armies 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 of armies. Now, willing all of the forces, all of the elements, all of the essences, and all the dark matter within the absolute all, in the being and becoming all of our will servants, serving all of our will's objectives, intentions, and desires, crystallizing them all into physical realization, actualization, and form as we are now will and commanded to be. Now, being and becoming an active force of unstoppable, primordial, typhonian, dragon god sun energy within us all now. Being and becoming an unstoppable force, bringing on a new mighty planetary galactic shift, completely shattering this reality matrix, cracking open the skies, opening up super portals controlled by our primordial god sun energies within us. Being and becoming realized into this physical third density reality matrix, now increasing the vibratory rate within each divine spark, reaching critical mass, going super mental consciousness along with the spiritual energy of Mother Earth, all together vibrating higher and higher, greater and greater, more and more. Together, mother and child, together, opening up a supermassive black hole, folding out of this space-time reality, out of this reality matrix in the third density, creating a new space and dimension that's never been before, a new reality, a new dimension, a new matrix beyond this one. Through the power, force, and might, will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow, the great nothingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light from which comes the absolute all. All that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we are will be. Abracadabra, Ashe.
Shay.
Ashe.
Presto changeo.
Presto changeo. Yeah, I hear the skies are cracking. This dimension is falling apart.
Yeah, it fell apart. I mean, at the point, it's just hanging on by duct wire and shit, duct tape and shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Duct tape,
Glam with a little pretty glamour glitter on it.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They really have to bring out all the stars, all the icons, so-called icons, to help keep this reality going, help keep you connected to this shit, or try to keep people connected to this shit. It's old, it's fading.
But the masses are being played, bro. Being played heavily, like like a string,
Mm-hmm.
like a guitar string. They're being played, bro. Stringing them along.
Yeah, yeah, and the song they playing, go to sleep, go to sleep,
Right,
stay asleep, my little sheepies,
right,
so we can eat all we can eat.
right. And suck your energy. And that's all we do is vampire your energy.
Yep. You're so sweet and delicious. So tender and sweet. We love you to death. You're all that we need. Stay
Right.
asleep. Yeah.
Go to sleep, my little sheep.
Our little sheep. Stay asleep.
Man, they so gullible. They eating it hook line. They just came out like it's crazy because they can come out with the truth now, and people
Mhm.
just fall back to sleep. I mean, after look, this is crazy because the CDC, the new CDC head of the CDC, came out and said everything they said about the damn shot
Mhm.
was incorrect. Everything they said about it. Meaning, if you take this, they were talking about if you take it and you can't spread it or get it infected, they said all that's wrong.
Yeah.
Just crazy.
Everybody I know that got the jab caught it again and again.
I mean,
I don't know anyone that got the jab that didn't catch the flu.
exactly. My point exactly. Remember when D.L. Hughley bitch ass was trying to talk about people not getting it, and then his dumb ass get it and end up getting sick, almost dying and shit. You dumb bastard. But he was trying to clown us, other so-called black folks, for not getting it. They
Mm-hmm.
remember when they was early on in their campaign trying to guilt people out of not getting it, right? They try to play
Yeah.
this guilt trip. Oh, if you ain't getting it, this one senator, I forgot the fucking name, he was talking about, oh, if you don't get it, we're gonna try to. He was basically alluding to, oh, he's gonna put you on a terrorist list or something. That's what
Oh
he
yeah.
was trying to pass some legislation. He was writing up legislation to say that type shit right there.
Yeah, they were trying to fucking bum rush people. And
Right,
you know what? While they was doing that, I was sitting down doing my rituals, sending that
right,
energy out there, and the shit worked because it didn't work. It's all falling apart. I
exactly.
didn't.
That's my ritual. That's
Yep.
my ritual. I look at man. I constantly did so. I'm like, yeah, hurry up and burn this motherfucker. Let this motherfucker come down. And then
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I don't care. I don't care about the desperation that's going to happen as a result. I don't care because at the end of the day, we knew years ago before this was going to happen. So anybody who get caught up in this shit, hey, you knew years ago. So stop the bullshit. You played. You played yourself all the way into the end. So keep that same damn energy because everybody was so confident in the Matrix and shit. Okay, keep that same energy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was never confident in this matrix. In this matrix, it felt like this motherfucker. It knew my energy signature to the point to where it's like it's not. We're not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you get ahead of me. I'm not gonna let you get ahead because if I let you get ahead, you're gonna fuck everything up. I'm gonna make it very, very hard for you.
Right. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, everyone got those energies that are opposed to your essence, and those energies that are for your essence, right? And the thing about it is, it all works for you. Even the adversary spirits work
Yeah,
for
because
you.
that's like that's like lifting weights. It's the resistance that I need to build my
Right.
muscles.
See, that's a good analogy of it. Because that's exactly what these so-called evil spirits, they're there to work you out. That's why I'm
Yeah.
trying to explain to you. They were there to work your ass out. You're supposed to be mastering yourself, which everyone has just totally forgot to do.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be mastering yourself down here. That's
Yeah.
the whole point.
And the only way you're gonna do that is going through adversity. I mean, the
Right.
only way to heaven is through hell. You got to go through hell to get to
Oh
heaven, man.
yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Like
And
at the end
everybody
of the
want to
day,
go to
it's not
heaven.
even worth it if you ain't went through it. Like if it was given to you, you wouldn't even appreciate
Nope.
it.
Nope.
So I don't want it unless I worked for it. That's the attitude I've adopted years ago. I was suspicious about anything given to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's a
saying?
that's a trap. That's
All the time. All the
enslavement.
time. Because why would you give me fish and you can just teach me how to fish?
Because if I give you fish, I can enslave your ass.
Yeah, I control you now.
Yeah, I can control you. You
Right.
need me.
You need me now. Yep, you need me. And that's exactly the slave system, because people think of slavery was abolished. We just so-called celebrated Juneteenth last week, a week ago, right?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
And like people really fell for the bullshit. They really fell for the bullshit, bro. It's crazy how many people fell for the bullshit, bro. You
Well,
understand me?
they always gonna fall for the bullshit.
Hey, that's on them. That's on them. I ain't here to save. I like now I'm looking at this like these motherfuckers are like hoes and shit. I'm not a Captain Save a hoe.
Well, yeah, no, no, it's about saving my own ass.
Man, they hoes for the system. So continue to sell your ass. Cause that's what y'all want to do. Y'all want to sell y'all ass for the little trinkets they give you. So keep
And
selling your ass.
but not only that, people they're in love with this third density matrix. They're in love with it. They're in love with the material aspect, and I understand that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Enjoying the delicacies of being down here and everything. But
I mean, it's one thing to enjoy it, but another thing to fall into this bliss, or what they call it. They're basically in bliss to this shit, man. They in glamour with this shit. That's the
yeah,
thing. I enjoy this shit every once in a while too. But at the end of the day, I'm not caught up in this shit so much that I forget my mission here. You know what I'm saying? My
exactly.
purpose.
Yeah, but see
I
now
ain't forget my purpose.
things are so far gone now. I don't have time to focus on that bullshit no more.
Man, it's gonna get even better, because as this system collapses, right, people's true color is gonna be revealed now. Because everyone is able to cover up with the system and how, you know what I'm saying? Because we live in a society, right, where you are let off the hook for your mistakes. You're not held accountable for your mistakes. So as a
Well, that
result, most people grow up and they don't even understand how to grow and develop themselves as a result of making mistakes and being. No one
being
wants to make mistakes
penalized.
here. No one wants
Yeah,
to make mistakes.
well, shit, man. Man, like in my life journey, life Yeah, one time it was allowing me to get away, but then all of a sudden it put its foot down on my neck and just started allowing me to feel the full brunt of my erroneous conduct or my erroneous thinking or erroneous actions.
Right.
Yeah.
It gets
And
up. It gets up to everybody, man. Eventually,
yeah, it catches up. Yeah.
I think most people. I think it catch up with most people when they hit rock bottom.
Oh, that's when everything comes out at you.
Right. When you hit rock bottom, and even some people who hit rock bottom, they go through a period of time before that rock bottom hit another rock bottom that it's like, damn, how it's like you got to have some self realization at that point.
I mean, you go through multitudes of rock bottoms.
Right.
Yeah, I went there. Shit. I mean, I got comfortable at rock bottom. I made a
Man,
home.
that's exactly what's happening. People are psychologically fixated in that emotional energy. That's an emotional energy, and you get fixated there, right? Where you don't go outside of that emotional energy.
Well, I don't see how you don't because life will put you in situations where you have no choice but to go outside your
But
box.
society itself is catering to that. So that's
Oh
why,
well, yeah. Oh well, yeah. That assuming your heart is connected to the outside world, and you don't go inward, and you're not following, your true inner path, your true. Because if you like, what I'm going through right now, I'm going through this transition, but I'm on my path. I'm going through this while I'm on my path. And by me going through this while I'm on my path, my true path, that means I have everything in this path to help me over. This is just something in my path that I must overcome and go through to get to another higher plateau.
right.
Or it's either that or to face my mortality. But I've been through many so much adversity in life, faced, you know, all out self destruction, figure out a way through that shit.
When you really embrace the concept and the wisdom of death is no enemy of man, you really live this death is no enemy of man. And I'm not talking about the reverse of this is death and that's life when you leave when you pass on. I'm saying you kind of get the weight off your shoulders now. This is what the whole concept of the mystery system is, right? Is
Hmm.
that we holding all of this grief, we holding all of this emotional baggage on our spirit, and it's holding us down. It weighs heavy on your spirit.
Well, that's only because we believe that this is real.
Exact that see, but then look, see now because now you're seeing the magic of belief, which most
Yeah.
people don't deal with that. The magic of belief, they deal with belief as some type of fantasy that they're conjuring up in their heads and shit, and not realizing the power of it. Your belief is not only one of the biggest things you can use in magical spells, right?
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
they got you caught up in the belief and working in the opposite way it's supposed to be working in the interest of your life.
Yeah. They
Your
got
belief is supposed to be confirming certain potentialities of your reality.
within yourself. Not
Right.
see, they're teaching belief. Well, they teaching us how to use it to either become rich or to be a good slave.
Right. I mean, most people use the Christian, they become slave minded and opposed to utilizing these attributes of the spiritual systems. They were just spiritual systems of the ancient time that became the Abrahamic religions. that are more dominant in America because these are the religions that we have been conquered by.
Yeah, well, straight out of Rome, baby.
Right. It wasn't just Rome though.
No, well, okay.
We were conquered. We were conquered by aspects of Islam too. So,
Oh, yeah. Well, they work together.
but both of those systems are ancient in its origins. Both of those systems are ancient in origin. Like most people say, oh, Muhammad spread Islam in what the 1500s and shit.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, um, the concept of Islam predates Muhammad.
Well, the word Allah is for mother and son, right?
I'm not sure, but
Ah and
I
La.
know the older version, feminine version of it a lot.
Well, it's the feminine and masculine, just like Yahweh.
Okay, but I know that there was a campaign in the ancient world to usurp all of the feminine gods, the
Yeah.
feminine goddesses.
Yeah. Well, that
Why? Because they wanted to throw off the balance of of the human psyche, of the human
and
soul.
evolution. Yeah, they
Right.
went to fuck with our evolution and put some other shit in there. Now we got this rainbow shit going on.
They were pushing patriarch, which is um the unbalance, the lack of ma'at in the energy. You have to include ma'at and tahuti. This is what people
Yeah,
don't do.
yeah,
People
even yeah. There's a time when the masculine energy is dominant, but it still has to be balanced with the feminine energy. This time we got this masculine energy that completely cut the mother energy off and created some artificial shit.
right, right.
And
Because
now we
you
got
can never the masculine is see, we think because we are more physically stronger than women that is what
makes us greater.
make us greater than women. No.
No,
Hell
oh
no. Women,
no.
like, at the end of the day, women's spiritual insight and intuition,
Hmm.
if they was really utilizing their power, see the reason this is all reverse nature shit, right? But they're
Hmm.
reverse their nature because they're trying to be more like men.
Yeah, they trying. Yeah.
A lot of men are reversing their nature because they're trying to be like more like feminine and
Mhm.
women, right? And
Yep.
that's not our parts. This is not what we're supposed to do, right? The feminine in me is complemented through my woman. The masculine in her is complemented through me.
Well, let's
So
see.
go
That's all
ahead.
archonic energy. That's all archonic energy because the masculine and feminine together creates an energy that's poisonous to principles in certain principles in high places.
Right.
That's what we.
You can actually because this is look at the physical aspect of it. One woman and one man have the potential of a nation within them.
Yeah, but
Okay, so
two
we can
women.
even go further. The cosmic potential of it is like, okay, the energies in marriage, they can actually they can actually bring forth an energy that's so massive. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing
It
that's
can
more powerful
change.
than that.
It changes everything around it,
Right,
and that
right.
archonic energy can't fuck with that. It kills them. It's poisonous to them. So that's why.
This is why they have to have the battle of the sexes so tough.
And not only that, this is why they got to have that LGB bullshit. All that homosexuality bullshit and lesbianism.
Right. That just can lose the energy even more.
But see, that energy is efficient to them. That energy they can feed, they can eat off of that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They need
Well,
that.
well, well, they need that energy that comes from you compromising your purpose here and
Yeah.
giving up your sole purpose, and that's the energy that just like how adrenochrome. The adrenochrome only what works when they put that fear into your heart, and what's produced from the blood is the alchemic process. They understand the alchemic process, especially in the human chemistry, right? They
Mm-hmm.
understand that so to the point where they know exactly how to trigger us to create these chemical process or these chemical reactions within our blood that will they can actually use that shit.
That's filet mignon to them. That's fucking spinach. This is
And they put
like what spinach is to pie
it,
pie. That shit
and
is to them.
they put it right in your face with movies like Monsters Inc.
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen Monsters Inc. before?
No, mm-mm, no,
You need to check it out.
yeah.
So
But
you
I
think
tell you
it's
one
for
thing I
kids?
did see today, and
You
I
think it's for
loved it,
kids, and it ain't. Go ahead.
was the Avengers: The Infinity Wars with Thanos.
You just seeing that?
I'm just saying that, man. Hey, I've
Man,
been
you
away
missing
from
out.
these
You when
from
you
TV.
look, if you started so you started did you which one you started from though? Did you start from the first one?
The first one where Thanos
No,
snapped
that's not the
everybody.
first one, man. That's not where it started off, bro.
Oh,
That's
that's
not the
not.
first one. The
Oh,
Infinity, that's probably the first Infinity Wars, but there was a series before the Infinity Wars that you got to peep
oh,
out. All of it
okay.
led into the Infinity Wars.
Yeah, well, I saw where Thanos he left with all the stones, and everybody just started fading away in the end.
Listen, man. Oh, you like that was the second to the last episode.
Oh, okay.
You watched the second to the last. Because when
Okay.
Thanos got all the rings, you went to the one where he got all the rings.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you gotta watch. You gotta watch. You gotta catch up, man.
Yeah.
Because all of it's significant. They was actually telling us and giving us a breakdown of what the energy at Hollywood period. Because basically, there are a bunch of magicians, man, in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There are a bunch of occultists. Hollywood is all occult. It's all occult shit. That's all they doing is studying this science. They studying this ancient science, and they're putting it in movies.
They're making cinema out of it,
Right,
turning ancient
right,
science into
and making
cinema.
trillions of dollars.
Yeah. I mean, ingenious.
But people don't take it as face first because it's a movie or it's a cartoon. And I'm like, man, they telling you right in front of your face the truth. Y'all just don't want to hear the truth a lot of times, or you want to play it down as if it's just some imaginary stuff. But you got to understand energy. You know what I'm saying? If you
Mhm.
if your final analysis of reality is based in your small grasp of reality, because most people have a really limited circumference of thinking, bro. Right? Very limited. They don't do no research. They feel like, oh, I graduated from high school. I'm done educating myself. You know what I'm
Well, first
saying?
of all, the education system was created by uh, several people or individuals. The entire education system, and
Yeah.
if you and
And
when one
it was created with an agenda. It was created with an agenda.
with an agenda, the agenda was to create a race, a civilization of working slaves.
Well, just look at it like this: when the conquistadors came to America with their missionaries, right?
Yeah,
It was missionary. The missionaries came first because they were the first military line.
it was funny. I heard this story where the conquistadors or the mercenaries, and they came here, and they were trying to teach the natives about the Great Flood in the Bible, and they said we already know about that shit. Everybody knows about that.
Man, listen, they came. The reason why they came and was not only exposed to an abundance of resources, but an abundance of knowledge and gold and all type of shit when they came over here. They're not going to tell you everything that they discovered when they came here, but you can you can tell by the journals that Christopher Columbus was leaving, where he was saying stuff that might have seemed exaggerated, or it might have seemed his description of the land, his description of the people, his description. He said these people are, and then he ended up basically saying, "Oh, these people are naive as fuck. We can come pillage these people and take everything from them."
Yeah,
that's what he said in his journals.
So,
like I said, the missionaries were the first line of the first line of the military. They send in their priests to see how they can prime the people into. But like I said, eventually they killed off a lot of the adults and put all of the children. They put all of the children in their indoctrination camps. And this is what modern education system is: an indoctrination camp.
Yeah, an indoctrination camp.
Right, because they have to continue their colonialism. Right? What's the evolution of colonialism?
The evolution of colonialism?
Yes. The slave system. The evolution of colonialism is globalism.
Globalism? And what is really globalism?
Globalism is the expansion of business interests, the expansion of political interests that are not necessarily allegiance to a particular nation.
Okay, so in other words, we're now creating these entities. New entities are being created outside of the borders or the boundaries of a nation. You have corporations taking over.
Corporations and these private organizations, and yes, that's globalization. Because most of these corporations are multinationals, so they have no loyalty to one particular state.
Right, and these people been around for a very, very long time. Very, very long time.
Oh no, this is old money. This is old ancient money. As ancient as we can probably. It ain't ancient as us, but I'm saying this is old money. Still expressing itself today. These are old. These are old orders. These are old monies, old orders that are still being played out today.
Yeah, well, these orders, you would say, been here for 6,000 years, are part of the 6,000-year reign of the beast over.
Well, I wasn't giving 6,000 years because you gotta give a portion for their development, because they didn't even develop to even being a civilization to where they can even go outside of their border. They was in the plague, the Black Plague and all that stuff, and the Dark Ages and stuff. We came in there and introduced them to a whole new world of reality outside of their mundane ass reality they was in and shit, where the Black Plagues.
I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the ones that made them.
Oh yeah, I mean we gotta okay, so they were made as workers. They were the original slaves. That's the thing. They were the original. They were the ones meant to be the original slaves. That's who they was talking about when they're mentioning the Slavics, the slaves. If you trace back their genetics, right, you're going to trace back those genetics to those people who were being genetically engineered. the Slavics.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they were a slave race that was created, and this can even go back to the Sumerian texts where they
Yeah.
talked about they talked about these created even the Egyptian cosmology or texts talked about created people.
Who was here first? The Egyptians or the Sumerians?
I think their civilization existed at the same time because if
Uh,
you yeah, I think they existed at the same time, but I mean the because there are correspondence between these two these power dynamics that was going on in ancient time in that particular time period.
yeah.
If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, they existed at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course they did, and they both had a major influence on the planet.
They both were melanated societies,
Yeah.
dominated by melanated people. They both were societies dominated by melanated people.
Well, I think. Well, who else was there on the planet then? But
Well, there was basically polymorphin mutations then at that time too. You
yeah,
know what I'm
I
saying?
guess it's
But
been that way all the time.
well, look, the Neanderthals that we attribute to the Albions, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're it's kind of hard to trace this shit back because that's a theory, and it's what I'm saying, they don't got the completeness to the whole thing. They're missing for the missing link and all that shit, right? Because you got to
Yeah.
find transitional species. That's the thing. That's the thing that killed the whole evolution. Where are the transitional species? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Meaning we should see species that over time they went through this transformation of becoming from apes to upright humans. And
This.
we don't see these transitional fossils. It's like the theory is just that, a theory. And it's continued to be a theory to this day after all these years.
Mm. This
So
place.
yeah, I
This,
mean, go ahead.
this place is a mystery. Our history
Well,
is a
it's a mystery. It's a mystery, but it's crazy because they've done a good job with colluding the history, making it where it's so confounded, colluded.
mm-hmm.
You gotta sift through all type. It's like a so research is like more tedious than hard. Meaning the
Yeah.
actual is more tedious than actual having to figure out stuff and everything. It's more tedious work and actually going through a lot of different references and going through all that stuff and then finding your little keys and bringing them out, finding them out. Because there are keys all around, there are all type of clues and everything all around. You just got to be able to dig them out. I've done it over years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've connected the dots. It's like my whole investigative research has always been connecting the dots and putting the puzzle together thing. So
Yeah.
as I grow in my understanding, I have a bigger puzzle now, a bigger picture. I see a bigger picture now. This is the only way possible to even get to this level is over years. That's what I tell you. You cannot watch YouTube videos. You cannot watch TikTok videos and think you're going to actually get it. No, those are just
No.
little drops that you get here and there. But your goal is to pull all those drops together and connect the dots over time.
Yeah, well, they have. I mean, you go in there, you can listen to audiobooks after. I mean, but then, oh my God, how many audiobooks can you listen to completely?
Right.
I mean, they're 11 hours long. Some of them, then they got short ones, 1, 2, or 3 hours long. But
Right.
yeah, and then how much of that? Yeah, it's like they have so much information, and then they got to put all this other stuff around it.
But that's the thing. So much information is not necessarily a good thing. Like I said, it's so much that you got to sift through so much to even actually know the truth. So I understand how people are hesitant to go into the research because there's a lot of work. It's a fucking lot of
Yeah.
work, bro. If you're
Yes.
being genuine, if you want to, if most of the scholars you see on the scene right now,
Yeah.
they did half-ass work, bro. Because you can't come on the scene talking shit and you only did half-ass work, and you can tell half these motherfuckers they have like brothers, young brothers like Pharaoh.
Earl.
Yeah, young Pharaoh.
Mm-hmm.
Young
I've heard
Pharaoh.
of it.
I'm like, every time I listen to him, I'm like, man, there's a lot more research you got to do, bro.
Yeah.
Because this shit is not easy, man. I'm trying to tell people this shit is not easy coming to these. I'm able to draw conclusions based on years and years of gathering information, gathering. I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about ever since I was like, what? I had to be at least 14, 15, gathering. And now I'm damn near 50 years old, so imagine how much information I've gathered.
Probably a lot.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gathering information all my life from many different things.
Right. And a brother asked me that the other day. Who is your teacher? I was like, man, I have many sources from which I've gained information from. I've gained knowledge from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a teachers per se. Like, look, what are you talking about? That's for you followers.
That's for church people.
Right. I don't
Your preacher.
No, there are brothers that I learned from. C. Freeman L. You want to know who I learned from? C. Freeman L.
Mm-hmm.
You can go into Bobby Hemmett. You can go into what's that? Shango L. Shango
Yeah.
L. That brother. That brother. Oh, he on.
Oh
He
yeah.
on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Dr. Joseph. Yeah.
Delbert Blair. Whoo,
Yeah.
that bro. Who else?
Well,
Who else?
I did all those. Phil Valentine. Even
Yep, Phil.
even this
I
nigga brother
say.
Panic. Even this nigga brother Panic.
Oh yeah,
Who
brother
was
Panic goes in, but see, I gotta. At the end of the day, brother Panic he's more palatable with the information. You can actually digest what he's saying better than
yeah.
most of these people out here. I can digest what he's saying better, but also
Yeah. Well,
the
he
brother
just he's a fool. Uh-huh.
Azazir Bay.
Yeah.
You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Before he passed, he went on to the
Yeah,
ancestral home.
he left a lot of good information.
Man, we gotta go. I would tell the youth if y'all really want to get some real deep information, deep dark information. Azir Bay. His name
That's
Azir Bay. I don't know how to pronounce. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's
Azizio. It's like that. It was. I think that was the name of one of the fallen ones.
right.
Azizio.
I was there. Yep. But he break that science down cold.
Yep.
He break that science down cold. The dark side energy and all that stuff. He break that science down
Mm-hmm.
cold. You feel me?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's plenty of places where I've gained and gathered all the information, bro. But the thing about it is, I didn't get caught up in the characters.
No, see, this was the beautiful thing that happened to me was that okay, 2010, I got all this information listening to all these same guys, Seafree, Bobby Hemmett, Dr. Phil Valentine, Dr. Deborah Blair, and everybody. I listen to everybody. I mean, I've heard every Yafa Bay. I heard a lot of Moors. I mean, everybody. And then I was cut off. I didn't have the internet. I didn't have the computer, but I was working at a place where I did have it, and I had a printer, so I can go online. I did all kind of research. I pulled up many different Kabbalahs, and Printed that shit up. I printed up pamphlets, books, this thick, and had a fucking hole punchers and made books. And it just took that shit home and just read. Fuck TV. Didn't watch TV. Didn't have the internet. Didn't have a phone. So all I did was just read and research. And then I learned how to do rituals. I learned
what big books have you read completely?
Big books have I read completely?
No, not big books. I didn't say big books. I said what books have you read completely?
Well, I haven't read them, but I listen to them on audio. I listen to shit all of Ham Grant. What's that guy? He's an Egyptologist. Graham Hancock Graham Ham Grantcock. A lot of what's the guy from Germany that Hitler fucked over that wrote about the Ariman?
Well, I've read this book called "Nothing in this Book is True, but Exactly How Things Are." It's a book about it's a book about aliens and transhumanism and multidimensional reality and all that stuff. It's called. As a matter of fact, it's right here. I'm at my library right now, and this is the one I'm talking about right here. I suggest those beginners. This is a beginner book, like, you know what I'm saying, and it's written by Bob Frussell. Frussell, right? That was a good one. I'm reading this one right now, and this is a good one too. The People's History of the United States of America. The People's History of the United States of America. That's a good book, right? Also, you got to go into the Mohammedan. I ain't read this all the way through. I read that one, but the Mohammedan script.
Oh, Nag Mohammedan Library.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've listened to that online on audiobooks.
Right.
Yeah, I've listened to a lot of the Gnostic stuff online on audiobooks.
This is another one that's killing too.
The Montauk Book of the Dead.
Woo! He go in. He go in, bro. He really go in. If you ain't read that one, I think it's an audio book too. You can, man. He go in. Peter Moon.
Okay.
Yeah, Peter Moon.
I've heard of him. I mean, what's his name? Panic mentioned him and before when he was bring up his book, the book collections are good artists. I mean, good authors.
This too, you gotta have this in your library.
What's that? Ancient and Modern Britons.
Gotta have that, volume 1 and 2. There's some shit you gotta have in your library too.
I can't. The destruction of the black civilization.
Right. Even though he's using black, it's good. It's still good because it's showing you how we would had major, massive civilizations in not even ancient time. Right around the time that we were so-called going through the transatlantic slave trade, great civilization that had vast maritime, you know what I'm saying, armadas. You understand me? All this old slave bull narrative they push on us, man. Stop that. Around the slave time, we were so-called being shipped on ships back and forth across the Atlantic. The Moors was ruling the 7 seas.
Well,
I just want people to take that. I'm not challenging nobody's. I'm not challenging nobody's notions or narrative. I'm not challenging your narrative though. There was some people who came from Africa and all that.
What happened to all of the boats or ships?
What boats?
The Moors. The Moors, if you know, you said they were the ships that they flew the seas, that they rolled in on the seas.
What happened to the ships? What do you mean? What happened to the
They
ships?
still, I
Man,
mean,
there was recently pirates that
hmm
recently was jacking ships. Them the same. That shit's still going on today.
oh well,
We
shit, yeah,
we
some
jacking
out.
they ships to this day. What do you mean? Al Jazeera's, Tripoli, all that
hmm
shit going on, man. Listen, man, we was running the seven seas. We were the rulers of the seven seas. They had to have tribute payments to go across the damn seven seas, man. We
Yeah,
was
I heard
gangster
about
shit,
that.
man.
That's where the
We was
word
in power.
blackmail came from.
Huh?
That's where I heard that's where the word blackmail came from.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, it was they
That
had to
my
pay
point.
they
My
had to
point
put.
is, this is a vast power that we're just totally ignoring.
Well, it's not that we're ignoring it. It's just that we're oblivious to their it's
No, they're ignoring
hidden.
it because you can't. It's why are we ignoring it? Because at the same time, the transatlantic slave trade was going on.
Yeah.
We was ruling the seven seas, so you're ignoring what happened. Then there's more factors that have to be factored in based on what they told us. So they were coming back and forth freely. What happened? No, they wasn't. They was getting jacked the fuck up.
Even they were jacking the slave ships too.
Listen, yeah, there's treaties that talk about that. That if y'all had any of our captives, then release them. This is what the treaty. As a matter of fact, the treaties really ended slavery.
Mm.
Because when they was talking about cargo being shipped back and forth in the language of the treaty, they were talking
hmm
about slaves too. They literally got a mention for subjects, right? And they got people who are heads of the admiral and all these things. These are basically the language of the treaty tells you the story of what was going on back then, bro. It literally tells you what was going on.
Well, we definitely had to been on the decline because if we were a superpower or a world power, and we were allowing these Europeans, these imperialists, to come over into our motherland and kidnap us, and we didn't go to their land and kill their ass. It
No,
was
no,
yeah,
no, no,
we
no,
were
no, 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 no. What happened was the Khalifas were fighting each other. With the
oh
centralized, go study the Khalifas of the Islamic of the 15th, the 14th, the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 1700s, and on further, right? But it ended basically in it ended basically in 14
yeah,
1492, right?
they kind of let us down. I mean, if
Yeah,
we
they
had a
did. I mean, I'm
superpower,
not taking away. I'm not taking away from it, but it ain't that we let ourselves down. Is what I'm saying. What you're trying to say?
yeah,
See,
yeah, we
we're
let
trying to take
ourselves
ourselves out of
down.
the
We allowed
equation.
ourselves to be
That's the problem.
compromised.
What you just did, where we detach ourselves from ourselves. You just
We,
detach yourself from yourself, saying they, no, us, we betray ourselves. Yes, we betrayed
yeah,
ourselves.
okay.
We did ourselves. We turned against ourselves. Period. That's why we in the predicament and we are. Everybody knows, and I talked about this with my brother the other day and shit. I was like, it's against national security for our unity. You know that, right?
Hell yeah.
It's against national security.
Uh-huh.
Because they know as soon as we wake the fuck up to this reality that the Moors is talking about, damn, no, we was not these weak inferior slave. That no, we're not under any inferior laws. No, on contrary, the Europeans are under our supreme laws. That reality that I just spoke to you about just now.
Yeah.
That will change the dynamics of the political power struggle. And they know it. That's why they focus so much on keeping us at bay. They keep us at bay and make sure they systematically make sure they elude us from our history, our actual history. They make sure we do not even go there. Most of our people, look, it's a running joke. It's a running joke. The Moors is a running joke right now in the community.
Mm-hmm.
It's a running joke right now. I know. Yeah, y'all hear all y'all hating. A lot of these people out there hating on the Moors. And we were the only one fighting the Europeans. While y'all trying to say, oh, we let them. No, we were fighting their ass. We were the only one fighting their ass. Everybody else was the only one, the ones who was letting their ass come through. We were the only one fighting their ass. The Moors.
The Moors.
Oh my God! So you said that like look at the history, bro. Look at the history. What do you think the Christian against Islam for all these years was about?
Why? I mean, I don't understand. They both belong to the same. They're both part of the same animal, Abraham.
Well, that's the diversity of us as a people, brother. Is what you're looking at.
Oh, the diversity.
You're looking at the diversity of us as a people. All of it originates. We're the progenitors of humanity, bro. We're the progenitors of all cultures. Yeah. We're the progenitors. We gotta accept that. So you're talking from the political standpoint of the worldview of the European, where they break shit down into these little categories that's comfortable for their political expedience. That's not our worldview. So, you're looking at things, you're indoctrinated. The way you talk is indoctrinated through the worldview. That's okay. A lot of us are indoctrinated with the worldview of the colonizers, brother.
No, I'm just speaking from my heart, really.
Huh?
I'm speaking from my heart because
I know. That's what I'm saying. Your heart. What if your heart is being the way your heart is being is coming out, is making it come out, is based on years and years of you being indoctrinated with a certain viewpoint of history.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I can't help. I guess can't help.
You could help it. You can help it. You can help it. You gotta, just like I just said, studying and research is not just face first research. It's investigative work. You don't just run with
I'm aware of. Okay, see, don't think I'm not aware of that. Don't think I'm not aware of that. See, where I'm
coming from. I know you probably are aware of what I'm saying, but the way I hear what people say all the time. I pay very close attention to what everybody says.
Okay.
So based on what you're saying, I can hear that you haven't did any deep research beyond some of the surface information.
Yeah. Okay. True.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm speaking from doing research beyond the surface. I'm just googling.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, how many hundreds of years were they going up and down the coast, going to Africa and capturing
the Europeans?
Yeah.
Europeans?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so let's bring that in perspective. How many years they will? I would say they wouldn't able to. I would say around the 1400s is when they was able to start going outside of Europe. When they start even getting the technology that allowed them to do the stuff outside of Europe that they had started doing.
Okay, so all right, so then how in the hell was some people, these people that just graduated from junior high yesterday?
They had help. They had help. You got to consider that we was ruling Europe. So a lot of people that you're talking about were not necessarily pale-skinned people. When you're referring to who are these people, they weren't necessarily pale-skinned. Not saying that they weren't around.
Did we enslave our own selves, man?
I mean, that's bringing the perspective. It depends on what nation state they were part of. Of course.
Okay, did we enslave a fashion?
Let me answer the question, brother.
Mhm.
Depending on what nation state, if these nation states were hostile to us, and they were both melanated people, we're acting like we're not used to. We don't understand that in Africa today there are African states that are hostile to each other.
Yeah.
So that's what you're talking about. You're saying we enslaved each other as if you're not considering that dynamic that I just explained.
Okay, well, yeah, this is the dynamics of how things are in the Iron Age, which is where we're in, where we've been, and we're starting to come out of. So I'm starting to feel. I'm thinking, okay, as we're coming out of this Iron Age and going into a Golden Age, um, the way we used to be, I think we're gonna
I,
we
no,
the
I
energy.
know I know what you're about to say, brother. You no, I don't think what I'm saying about bringing up ancient times and bringing up that history that we're going
Mhm.
back to that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not. I just saying what we're to become. What we are to become is going to flourish into something else as this knowledge is known. Though what we are to become under the present mindset that we under right now
Yeah.
may not be as bright or may not be as flourish as what we can become if we knew our actual aspect of that history that alludes us to today. We like the mass majority of our people, they have a twisted ass idea of the whole Moorish paradigm. But get your last words in. We gotta get to the next
Well,
show.
see,
So
I don't want to twist it. I want to know as much of the truth as I possibly can. That takes me taking the effort and time to do that. So I
of
haven't
course.
got. Okay, so I must put myself in a position in life where I have the resources to not, where I don't have to go to work and be out there amongst the rat race, and I can have where I secure myself, and I can gather the information, gather the books, the knowledge, and get a good education, and so I can know and understand more than what I know and
Well,
understand
well
now.
no, I hear you, but with all due respect, that's big BS.
That's
You,
BS.
yes, because you don't need to get no resources to study. The
Hmm.
resources all around you to study. You just need to manage. Time management is what you need.
Yeah, time management.
Yes, because you need to be able to make time for things that are priority. What you're saying is that's not a priority. This is a priority right now. So I take time to actually do my work, run a business, right?
Hmm.
I'm not the best at it yet. I'm working on myself. Time management. But do my business, do my show, because this is work too. This is not easy to do the show, come on here and do the show. And no, I gotta make time. So time management is the problem we have in our community mostly. Not lack of resources. Not lack of resources.
No resources too. Okay, resources just
No,
don't come out of
no,
the air.
no. Let me contrary to that. Why? Because we spend trillions every year as a people. It's lack of management of time and lack of management of money. And with that, you want to say your last word so we can go.
My last words. Shit's falling apart. I don't know. It may not even matter anyway. I mean, none of this shit's probably not going to matter anyway.
Right.
Uh, in a little while. I mean, everything's going to change and shift, going to a whole nother level. None of this shit's going to matter. The only thing that's going to matter what development we do have within. If you reach a certain level of development, regardless of how much history you know or retain, but if you done a certain level of development within, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be challenged. You're gonna
That's
get
the only
challenged.
thing that's going. That's the only thing that's going to persist. Going to make you persist beyond the devastation that's coming. Is within. What's in you? Are you empty within, Do you have substance? Right? Do you have anything beyond just being a normal worker? Because that ain't gonna get it when in the next paradigm. You got to be able to you better learn some how to grow some shit. You better learn how to gather water. You better learn. These are the skills you need right now. Agriculture skills. You understand me? That's what you need to learn because money gonna be played out in a minute.
Yeah,
They
well,
already
yeah.
ushering it out. They about to. I think today they usher in the Fed now.
Mm. Well, oh yeah, but even I think things are going to be so bad on the physical plane. There's going to be so much destruction, so many calamities and things happening. You're not even going to be able to grow food. Not going to be. The water is going to be contaminated. The air is going to be contaminated. You know
Because
this.
the area is contaminated. They are coming up with counters to all what you just said. There are better batteries that they're making, like Tesla, and there's all type of counters to what's coming, and this is the point. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? In order for if humanity is going to endure, they're going to have to initiate some of these things that they've been, you know what I'm saying, they've been suppressing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things that they've been suppressing, and that all that's going to happen. Only way that's going to happen is if the people overthrow these tyrannical governments.
Well, that's already happening in France. You see what's happening in France. France is falling.
Well,
People,
France, they have a history. They have a history of that. That's you got to go in the history of France and how they are responsible for most of what the problem is from their perspective of revolutionary is because what they did was they really go right back into tyranny after their revolutions a lot of time. But whatever.
yeah.
Hopefully the people are not going to allow themselves to be go right back into the tyrannous system again and just take control. This is mostly what it is. We have to be more responsible and accountable as humanity. You know what I'm saying? We letting these entities run our lives and just have faith that they're going to do the right thing for us is over with.
It better be.
That shit
We
is
better
over.
have grown up from that. We need to grow up and learn how to govern our own selves. But
Yeah.
see,
Go ahead.
they're gonna see. They're gonna try to put us in a situation where things are going to be so bad to where we're going to have to look up to them. They want things to get so bad to where we have to look up to them. But I want everything to backfire.
It is, and it's going to come up to a point where we're going to have to go through the struggle and build something from that struggle, right? And
Hmm.
opposed to taking the convenient routes that they're going to provide. They're going to provide a lot of conveniencies. They're going to provide a lot of comforts and things of nature. We're going to have to have to accept the struggle
No,
that
they're
we're
going to
going to have to go
provide.
through.
No, they're going
We're
to
going to have to
provide
accept the struggle
necessities.
because
They're
at
going.
the end of the day, once we go through the struggle, if that struggle is productive in our acting and we're disciplined in that struggle, eventually we'll grow out of that struggle into becoming self-sustainable. That's the goal. Your ideas should be more going towards being self-sustainable, not dependent upon dependent. Because as long
Yeah,
as you're dependent, someone has your
you're going to be a
livelihood.
slave.
They have your livelihood under their grasp. That's slavery. That's
Hmm.
slavery is over with. That's one of the things that I think that's the transition that's really happening. And I got to go with this. Slavery is over with. It's over with. Even the fact that most people enjoy being a slave. No, you can't be a slave no more. It's over with. Even those who enjoy, because slavery was supposed to be over with in the 15. I mean, um,
1865,
1800s. But
1865.
and that's just here. It was over years before in other countries, but in the 1800s, it's supposed to be over with, right? But they
Hmm.
continued the slave system persists beyond that, And it's because the people do not want to be accountable for themselves at the level that they need to be. And that's the problem. We don't want, we have to accept our responsibility for our well-being, our best interest. And with that, I gotta go.
Yeah, okay. I accept that. Yeah. All right. Good night, America.